All right, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we are going to be going over all of the new cards from OP-12. That's right, they're up on the site now. Of course, now at the time of me recording this, they have not been updated on the sim just yet, but hopefully that's just a matter of time. But we're going to be going over all the cards from OP-12. We're going to break this into a two-part series, guys, into a two-part series. Today's going to be part one or part A, whatever you want to call it, where we go through red, green, and blue. And then in tomorrow's video, we'll go over the next part where we go over purple, black, and yellow. Did I say that right? Red, green, blue, purple, black, yellow. I think that's right. Yeah. So let's do this, guys. Let's get straight into it. I will still try to have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have any relevant links and stuff like that in the comments section below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link will be in the channel description. Today's video is brought to you by Nin Garden, and their summer kickoff sale is live. They're offering 10 to 40% off site-wide across the entire store. For a limited time, get a free playmat tube with every Sun God playmat purchase while supplies last. Also, don't forget to use my code, TheVVTheory, at the checkout for an extra 5% off. All right, so first up we have Silver's Rayleigh. This is a 5,000 power, 5 life leader, mono red. And guys, I'm going to try to move through this pretty quickly because we have a lot of cards to go over. But the effect of Rayleigh is under the rules of this game, you cannot include cards with a cost of 5 or more in your deck. And then activate main once per turn. You may reveal 2 events from your hand, and then up to one of your characters with 4,000 base power or less gains plus 2,000 power during this turn. So I will say this right away. I was very skeptical when I first saw this leader, but I thought, we're not going to give up on it. Let's wait till we see all the support it gets. And, I was pretty down on the leader. I'm not a huge fan of how they chose to design Rayleigh, but let me say this right now, guys. We're going to be going over some spoilers today, not just of the cards, but also of early results from the East. And Silver's Rayleigh seems like they're doing just fine over in the East. I'm not saying it's like the best deck in the format or anything like that, but it's doing a lot better than I thought it would, and it got a lot of pretty decent support over time. Like once they finally revealed all the cards, it was like, okay, this leader actually got some pretty decent support, and we're going to talk about that in today's video. But yeah, overall, I'm not a huge fan of how they chose to design this leader. We're still going to be messing around with it here on the channel because I'm a big fan of Silver's Rayleigh, so of course we're going to spend some time talking about it and going over it. But in general, I will say I wish they had not. My biggest problem is I wish they had not restricted that top part, under the rules of the game, that you cannot include cards with a cost of 5 or more in your deck. I really wish they had not restricted this leader in that way, because not only do we not get to run something like Silver's Rayleigh in Silver's Rayleigh, like the 5 cost or 8 cost Silver's Rayleigh, but we also don't get access to any of the really strong top-end cards that Red has access to, like 5 cost Luffy, the 5 cost ST21 Rush Luffy, the 7 cost Ben Beckman, or the 7 cost Edward Newgate, the 8 cost Dragon, 8 cost Silver's Rayleigh, or any of the top-end stuff. So that did kind of frustrate me a little bit, but overall, like I said, we're going to look at some pretty decent support as we're going through these cards. Silver's Rayleigh is probably going to do a lot better than people expected, myself included. I did not expect him to be very good when I first read this, but I think he's going to do a little bit better than than a lot of us had initially expected when we first saw this reveal. I was very concerned when I first saw it. Okay, now let's go ahead and check out some of the support he got. Let's go through the other cards in red. Okay, here's the alt art. Looks amazing. Looks really, really good. And one thing I want to mention up front here before I forget, the entire theme of this set of OP-12 is Legacy of the Master, okay? So we're going to see a lot of teacher and student combos as we go through these cards. That's going to be the main theme of everything, okay? So again, here's the alt art. Now notice in the background we have Luffy back there because, for those who are not aware, a little bit of a spoiler, guys, we're going to be spoiling results in here, cards, the anime or the manga or whatever. But for those who are not aware, Silver's Rayleigh ends up training Luffy, okay? Really cool looking art here. Okay, next up we have a Edward Newgate. This is a 5 cost, 6,000 power, 2K counter, Whitebeard Pirates vanilla. Let me say this up front too. Let me get it out of the way for the newer players. Whenever I say a card is vanilla, I mean that it has no base effect. Notice how there's no effect on here and there's no text on the card, like on the actual, where the picture is there. It just has a name and the stats and the cost and everything. So this is just a vanilla card. I want to get that out of the way up front here. There are 2 kinds of vanillas in the game right now that I'm aware of. There are 1K counter vanillas and there are 2K counter vanillas. This is a 2K counter vanilla, 2K counter vanilla Edward Newgate. Very nice. All right, moving on. Next up is Crocus. Okay, 2 cost, 3,000 power, 1K counter, former Roger Pirates. With the effect of on KO, you may reveal 2 events from your hand, and then play up to 1 red character card with 3,000 power or less from your hand. So again, notice the pattern already. This is the same thing as the leader, where we have to reveal 2 events from our hand to get some type of special effect. Okay, in this case, on KO, we can cheat out a red character that has 3,000 base power or less, or with 3,000 power or less, I should say. Yeah, not bad. Decent effect here. Not sure if it'll make the final cut for what we're trying to build Rayleigh with, you know, or however we're trying to build Rayleigh. We'll have to see once we get to that point, once we start deck building Rayleigh on the channel here. I'm not sure if this card will quite make the cut, but who knows? It really will depend on what's in the format at the time. If there's a very heavy KO removal, you know, format, then we can run a card like this and get some pretty decent effects from it. Okay, other than that, not too bad. Not really, I don't think many decks would want to play this card because you do have to work a certain amount of events in the deck just to be able to pull something like this off. So it is kind of very specific to Rayleigh, even though it's not literally leader locked to him. Okay, next up is Kazuki Oden. 2 cost, 3,000 power, 1k counter. This is a Land of Wano Kazuki Clan Roger Pirates type character. With the effect of activate main once per turn, you may reveal 2 events from your hand, and this character gains plus 2,000 power during this turn. So again, there's the same exact pattern. We're going to have to reveal 2 events to buff our characters and do things from there with Silver's Rayleigh. And I will say this, that's a pretty nice little combo we see right away here with Crocus and Kazuki Oden. If we can somehow go turn 1 Crocus, or maybe just go turn 2 going second on 4 Dawn, just play out Crocus and Kazuki Oden, and then on the following turn, without using any Dawn, we can actually use our leader's effect to buff Crocus by revealing 2 events, and then with those same 2 events, reveal them for this activate main and buff Kazuki Oden, and without using any Dawn for the turn, we're swinging in for 2 5Ks right away. So, you know, there might be something there. We'll have to experiment with that later. And then we have all the Dawn left for the turn to work with, right, which is really nice. Really cool looking art on this one. I'm a big fan. I like the style on this one. But as far as the character goes as a whole, I don't think it's great, but I also don't think it's bad. It's just like a pretty solid character for Rayleigh, but not really for anyone else, right? For any other leader, again, it's going to come down to how many events you're running in the deck. So who knows? Maybe something like maybe Red Port Gastiace from, I think it was from OP-03, maybe that leader will have enough events to justify running this card. It could be kind of decent in there. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. All right, moving on. Next up, we have Shiki. This is an 8 cost, 10,000 power, 1k counter vanilla character with the type Film and Golden Lion Pirates. Okay, next up is Shakuyaku. This is a 1 cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter Amazon Lily character. With on play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and reveal up to 1 Monkey D. Luffy or 1 red event and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So this is like your searcher for Rayleigh for the most part. And it makes sense. This is really cool because remember what I said, guys. This set is going to be called Legacy of the Master. So this is like, it's very thematic, right? As in, so Rayleigh ends up teaching, or you know, showing, teaching Luffy. I don't know how much I want to say, guys. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, but let me just say this. Silver's Rayleigh ends up teaching Luffy, right? So Shakuyaku is like searching up Luffy so that Rayleigh can teach him, right? So Rayleigh can show him how to do things. And then also search up red events. Now keep that in mind as we get later into these reveals. There are a lot of really strong red events for Rayleigh. Okay, so really good stuff here. All right, next up is Shanks. This is a 2 cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter character, Roger Pirates type, with the effect of on play, up to 1 of your characters with a type including Roger Pirates, other than Shanks, gains rush during this turn. So again, up to 1 of your characters with a type including Roger Pirates. We don't have a lot of those just yet in the game, so this card's not great currently, but I'm sure in the future, once it gets more support, it'll be pretty solid. Okay, so there's not much to say about it yet, though, but let me just say this, guys. I do believe there's going to be a Gold D. Roger leader coming out in the red color pool in the not-so-distant future, like in the, you know, coming out. I don't know when, by the way, but I think in the pretty near future it's going to be coming out. And this card could be very solid in something like that, giving your Roger Pirates characters other than Shanks rush. Very cool. Okay, next up we have Shanks. Excuse me. Shanks is a 4 cost, 6,000 power character. Hang on, this, okay, they're both Shanks. This is like the kid version of Shanks, and this is like the adult, you know, prime version of Shanks here. 4 Emperors version of Shanks. So this is a 4 cost, 6k with blocker, and it has on your opponent's attack once per turn. You may trash 1 card from your hand and give up to 1 of your opponent's leader or character cards minus 2,000 power during this turn. So that's actually really good in the current meta, because at the time me recording this video and putting it out, Green-purple Luffy's doing very solid over here in the West, and it has a character named Luffy in there from EB02. It's a secret Luffy that can attack twice in one turn. Well, this effect actually persists through the entire turn. It is, you trash a card from your hand, and now a character or leader gets minus 2,000 power for the whole turn. So this is actually a very strong defensive ability here, a very strong defensive effect, and it's a blocker, a 4-cost 6k blocker, really solid card here. Okay, next up, this is the alt art for the card we just saw. Looks very good. I like the clouds are kind of dark in the background, like it's not a really bright, sunny background, unless it's just not good quality like the picture here, but I think it's meant to be more of a dark, like foreboding type of background. Looks really cool. And I kind of like this one better, though, I'm not going to lie. A lot of times, I don't know what it is, guys, I like the standard art a lot better than the alt art a lot of times. Not every time, not always, but sometimes. I feel like more often than not, I like the standard art better than the alt art. Okay, next up we have Jinbe. Excuse me. Jinbe is a 3-cost, 4,000 power, 1k counter character with a with Fishman and Sun Pirates type, so not Straw Hat searchable. And it has the effect, on play, you may reveal 2 events from your hand, and this character gains Rush, okay? And during this turn. Then this character gains plus 1,000 power until the end of your opponent's next end phase. See, now this is how I wish that... I don't know if I mentioned this or not. I know I've mentioned it before in the past, but I really wish that this is how Rayleigh's leader effect read. I just wish it lasted until the end of your opponent's next end phase. So that way, you know, when you buff a character on the board, you have a better chance of protecting it. But anyway, let me not get too carried away on that. This card, Jinbe, is incredible. It's a 3-cost. It's in Rayleigh. It's basically a 3-cost 7k with Rush, and it has a 1k counter, and it's a 5,000 power character to defend with after that turn, right? Like on the first turn it comes down. Because it says, then this character gains plus 1,000 power until the end of your opponent's next end phase. So this character will swing in for 5, or you can buff it with your leader effect to swing for 7, but it hits the board and swings in for 5, and then, you know, it's a 5k until the end of your opponent's next end phase. So really good stuff here. Really good card. Next up is Douglas Bullet. This is a 6-cost, 7,000 power, 2k counter vanilla character with film and it has 3 different types: Film, Pirate Fest, and former Roger Pirates. Very nice. Okay, then we have another vanilla here. This is Duval, 5-cost, 7,000 power with a 1k counter. Not bad. Cards like these are really good in sealed. For those who are not aware, like, why are these cards in the game at all? These are really good for sealed events. They also help like fill out the set as well and stuff like that. And sometimes they can print a very well-statted vanilla character, whether it's a 1k or a 2k, that goes really well with a certain type of cards, which is really cool. Okay. Next up is Buggy. We have a 2-cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter Roger Pirates character here. With on play, up to one of your characters with a type including Roger Pirates other than Buggy gains blocker until the end of your opponent's next end phase. So this one's just like Shanks, guys. There's not too much to talk about here. It's just like Shanks. The 2-cost Shanks we saw, where this card doesn't make a lot of sense right now, but whenever they do decide to reveal a Roger Pirates leader, then it's going to make a lot more sense, and it could be pretty decent then. So Buggy gives blocker, and Shanks is going to give rush. Next up is Hatchan. This is a 1-cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter character here with Fishman and former Arlong Pirates for the type. And the effect is activate main. You may rest this character and reveal 2 events from your hand. Give up to 2 rested Dawn cards to your leader or one of your characters. So this is kind of like Rayleigh's version of Monet, but I think I just kind of like Monet better, because I think Monet is a 2-cost 2k with a 1k counter, or a 2-cost 3k with a 1k counter. It doesn't really matter what the power is on it, to be honest. The card's going to get KO'd as soon as you use its effect, right? They're going to swing everything into it, usually. But whatever the case is, I kind of just like Monet better than this card, because Monet, while it does cost 1 Dawn more, you don't have to reveal any events from your hand. Both of these characters have to rest to do their effect, but this character has to reveal 2 events from the hand, and this character just gives up to 2 rested Dawn cards to your leader or one of your characters. Well, Monet does that and gives a minus 1,000 power debuff. So I kind of just like Monet better. Like, I think Monet is just like a strictly better card than Hatchan is for what you'd be wanting to use it for. Now, it is true that Hatchan is a 1-drop, so you can play this out on turn 1. But I'm going to be honest, guys. I think the way we're going to be building Silver's Rayleigh is with quite a few 1-cost characters, and they're not going to be Hatchan. It's going to be a bunch of 1-cost searchers. So I'm not a huge fan of this card, to be honest. All right, next up we have Boa Hancock. This is a 2-cost, 3,000 power character with no counter, and it has the Type 7 Warlords of the Sea and Kuja Pirates. The effect is on play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and reveal up to 1 Monkey D. Luffy or red event and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. And then it has another effect. Activate main, you may trash this character to give up to 2 of your Rested Dawn cards to your leader or one of your characters. Okay. So not bad. This is just a solid little searcher here with some utility built in. Not bad. I'm a big fan. It does work perfectly in Rayleigh. Being a 2-cost 3K, like think about that. So after you play this out, like say you're going second and you play this out to fix your hand, search for what you need to, and now you have a 3K on the board. On the next turn, you can just use your leader's effect to buff this character by 2,000, swing for 5, after investing no Dawn, just revealing 2 events, and then you can activate main, trash this character, give 2 Dawn cards, 2 Rested Dawn cards to wherever for the turn. Like say you play out like a 3 or 4 cost character next turn, whatever, and then, you know, trash this character to give 2 Dawn to your leader or to your character and smash in from there. So you're going to get to, you know, keep the pressure on and all that good stuff. So yeah, I think this is a solid card. I think this is a very solid card. Nothing too special, but it's also not bad at all. Okay. Next up, we have the alt art here. Looks very, very good. Huge fan of the alt art for this one. Yeah, these both look really good, though. It's hard to say. This one has so much, like, action going on. It's a very dynamic piece here. Like, the composition, everything about this just screams action and movement. This is a really good one here. And then, but this one is just the way they captured Boa. And it's like, again, what's happening? Guys, let's do a test right here. It's like a little bit of a psychological test here. What are you doing right now when you're looking at this piece, right? You're looking at her face, right? You know, she's got this pose going on. The hair's flying in the wind. She's completely, you know, she's looking beautiful. But what's happening? We're about to take a heel to the dome, right? We're about to take a kick to the face here. So perfect. Great, great piece of art here. Awesome. Really awesome. Okay, next up we have Monkey D. Luffy. All right, here we go. We have a 4-cost, 4,000 power character with a 1K counter, Supernova and Straw Hat character here, with the effect of if you have a total of 2 or more given Dawn cards, this character gains plus 2,000 power. And then on play, you may reveal 2 events from your hand, and then play up to 1 red character card with 3,000 power or less from your hand, and then give up to 1 Rested Dawn card to your leader or one of your characters. Okay, there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot going on. First of all, this is a 4-cost character, so we can play it in Rayleigh. That's good, right? They did, in fact, make this card for Rayleigh in this set, right? It's a 4-cost card, so we can play it in Rayleigh. It's a 4,000 power character, so we can buff it with Rayleigh. It has a 1K counter. It's Luffy, so it's searchable by the Shakuyaku that we looked at already and the Boa. And then it has, if you have a total of 2 or more given Dawn cards, this character gains plus 2,000 power. So that goes perfectly, again, with the Boa, right? It goes perfectly with the Activate main effect of Boa. And then on play, you may reveal 2 events from your hand. That's exactly what we expected from this deck, right? That's like the main pattern here. You're going to be able to play up to 1 red character with 3,000 power or less from your hand, and then give up to 1 Rested Dawn card to your leader or one of your characters. Okay, so again, there's a lot going on here, and this is I think this is probably going to be a very, very strong card for Rayleigh, but probably not much else because of having to reveal 2 events from your hand. And remember, this card doesn't have Rush, so it's not like you're just going to slam this down and get immediate impact unless you can reveal 2 events from your hand. Now, if you can build a deck with red in it with enough events, okay, then by all means. And notice what it does say with all of these reveal effects here. It says you may reveal 2 events from your hand. So the color of the event doesn't matter. So you could probably splash this and other things, who knows. But in general, I think this is mainly built for Rayleigh, and I don't know. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Is there another leader who's going to be able to really pull this character's effect off and benefit from it? Because who all's going to want to cheat out a 3,000 power or lower character? Well, in Silver's Rayleigh, we're going to have a lot of decent targets with like Boa and Shakuyaku. Now, unfortunately, we cannot grab Jinbe with this, the one we just looked at, because that's a 4,000 power character. Very unfortunate. Bandai spoiling all of our fun, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, really, really solid card here. Being able to fill out the board, being able to flood the board, that is always really good in One Piece. Okay? All right, so next up, we have the alt art. Looks very good as well. Hard to say on this one, but I do like this one quite a bit, where he's just doing that quick little head dodge like that. Looks awesome. Very intimidating pose there as well. Looks really good. Okay, so good stuff here with the alt art as well. And next up, okay, now we got the events. So we have To Never Doubt, That Is Power. Zero cost event here, former Roger Pirates. The effect is main. There's a lot to read on here, guys. Look at this. The effect is main. You may give 2 active Dawn cards to one of your silvers Rayleigh. Not rested, active. You may give 2 active Dawn cards to one of your silvers Rayleigh. Your opponent cannot activate blocker when the card given these Dawn cards attacks during this turn. And then it has a counter up to one of your characters or silvers Rayleigh gains plus 2,000 power during this battle. So the counter, this is basically a zero cost 2k counter you don't have to trash a card for. This is, I mean, I would kind of imagine this card as having just like 2k counter on the side. That's kind of how this card is, right? Because for 0 Dawn, counter up to one of your characters or silvers Rayleigh gains plus 2,000 power during this battle. Now, the effect, giving 2 active Dawn cards to your Rayleigh, and then your opponent cannot activate blocker for the attack with Rayleigh, that's pretty good. So giving unblockable is always very, very strong. It's a great way to close out games against people who are trying to block her up and survive like that. So I'm a big fan of this card, but there's really not too much else to talk about. It's just a really solid event card here. I wonder how much we'll end up running in Rayleigh, because I don't think we need a bunch of these, but this is also a 2k counter. So it's almost like, okay, maybe this replaces a 2k counter card in the deck, but there's a lot of really strong 2k counters we might want to add, like Otama and Makino. So how many 2k counters can we replace with these events? We'll have to see. It'll be hard to try and figure out the ratios of how we want to do this. But overall, very solid card. Getting unblockable, always a good thing. Okay, next up is Color of Observation Hockey. This is another zero cost event. Former Roger Pirates, with the effect of you may give 1 active Dawn card to one of your silvers Rayleigh. Let me see something. This one says main give 2 active Dawn cards. Okay, that's interesting. So, I mean, you kind of have to interpret that as a cost for the card, for the main effect, right? For the main effect on the event, you need to see that as a cost, right? For example, I can't use this effect here if I don't have 2 active Dawn card. That's actually part of the cost, is you have to give 2 active Dawn card. And then with Color of Observation Hockey, you have to give 1 active Dawn card to your Rayleigh to do this effect. And the effect is look at 4 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 red event or up to 1 character card with a cost of 3 or more and add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Okay, yeah, not too bad. We got a zero cost top 4 searcher here. Seems good, and it's going to buff our Rayleigh in the process. We'll be able to swing for 6 and do a search. Seems good. Not too bad. Okay, next up is Color of the Supreme King Hockey. Color of the Supreme King Hockey. Okay, so there's color. The way they have this is Color of Observation Hockey, Supreme King Hockey, and of course Armament Hockey, right? Or Arms Hockey. Okay, so this one is former Roger Pirates. The effect is counter up to one of your. So this one's a counter, just period. So the others had a main effect, right? These both had main effects here. This one's just a counter for the Supreme King Hockey. So counter up to one of your up to one of your characters or silvers Rayleigh gain plus 2,000 power during this battle. Okay, so counter. This is a 2k counter. Then you may rest one of your Dawn. Okay. And if you do, give your opponent's leader and all of their characters minus 1,000 power during this turn. So you're going to be able to give their entire board a debuff, including their leader, while buffing a character or leader for 2,000. Seems good. Not too bad. Really good stuff here. But other than that, this is really just a zero cost 2k, right? Like, ultimately, I think this card will usually just be a zero cost 2k to get you into the later stages of the game. And that's not bad either, though. That's not bad either. Okay, then next up, you have Colors of Arms Hockey. I wish they'd called it Armament Hockey. Like, I like that better. I know it's technically the same thing, right? But I just, the name Armament Hockey just sounds better to me. I don't know what it is. Okay, next up, so now we have, it's a former Roger Pirates character, or event here, with the effect of main, give 1 active Dawn card to one of your silvers Rayleigh, and then up to one of your leader or character cards gains plus 1,000 power during this turn. So you can use this as a way, it's basically a 1 cost 2k buff. Because it seems like, no, it's a zero cost 2k buff. Well, no, not really, because you have to give 1 active Dawn card to your leader, right? So this is not a zero cost 2k buff. It's a 1 cost 2k buff, which is not bad because you get to spread the 1,000 however you want to. And then the counter is up to one of your characters or silvers Rayleigh, gains 2,000 power during this battle. So all of these were zero cost 2ks, right? Except Observation Hockey. This was the searcher. But everything else was a counter, pretty much a zero cost 2k. So not too bad. And this one can do some big buffing over the course of the game. You know, it's a 1-cost 2K. That's better than a 1-cost 1K. So it is some way it is a buff in some way. It's a searchable event, and it has the ability to be a 2K counter. All right, so getting into the green cards, guys. First up, we have Zoro. This is a 5,000 power, 5-life mono green leader with Supernova and Straw Hat crew type with the effect of Dawn ×3, activate main once per turn. If this leader battles your opponent's character during this turn, set this leader as active. Then this leader cannot attack your opponent's characters with a base cost of 7 or less during this turn. Guys, being able to attack twice in one turn, even if one has to go to the board and one has to go to face, that's always going to be good. That's a very high value type of effect here. And here's the thing. When this leader, when Zoro first came out, I thought, okay, if this leader gets enough support, he's going to be pretty scary. He has a lot of potential. And being able to attack twice in one turn, yeah, that's always going to have some potential no matter what, right? Even if one, like I said, even if one has to be into the board and the other face, it's completely fine. But in this case, I mean, if your opponent has some 7-cost, or some 8-cost or higher characters on the board, you can attack twice into the board. So really, really good stuff here. And I will say this. Like I said, when I first saw this leader, I thought, okay, as long as he gets enough support, he's probably going to be pretty decent. And now I've seen the support, pretty decent. Pretty solid. And then on top of that, we have seen some results already coming from the East. It looks like this leader is going to be doing very well. Looks like, unless something happens, unless people figure out how to beat this leader or something like that, or find a hard counter to it, it looks like this leader is probably going to be seeing quite a bit of play in the future. Okay, really good stuff here. All right, next up we have the leader alt art, of course, you know, and we have, again, this is Legacy of the Master. So we have Dracula Mihawk, the teacher in the background there, with Zoro, the student, in the foreground. Looks really awesome. Okay. Next up is Ipin Matsu. This is a 3-cost, 0-power, 1K counter character, green, but its type is East Blue. And the effect is if your leader has the slash attribute and you have 6 or more rested Dawn cards, this character cannot be rested by your opponent's effects, and it has blocker. So this card right here, pretty solid blocker, but here's the thing, you know, okay, if it can't be rested, then it can be removed, right? That's the thing. So this character only has protection from being rested. So, you know, the standard removal we're all kind of used to, like KO removal or trash removal or, bottom decking or bouncing or whatever. Those can still deal with this character just fine. But there is a lot of effects in the game right now that can rest down characters. You know, I think purple has quite a bit, green has quite a bit. And, hey, this card says, nope, you're not going to be resting me down as long as your leader is slash attribute and you have 6 or more rested Dawn cards. Pretty solid utility blocker. Okay, next up is Inarashi. This is a 6-cost, 7,000 power, 1K counter character with the types that it has are Minx, Landawano, and Akazaya 9. And the effect is... activate main. You may rest this character, and up to one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 5 or less will not become active in your opponent's next refresh phase. So it's a decent effect. I've actually talked about this one before, I know, on the channel. I don't know if it was during a stream or what, but I know I've mentioned this card before. I'm not a huge fan of this card, but it's also not a bad card, right? It's not bad. It's just, you know, when we have access to cards like Carrot, which is a 5-cost 6K with a 1K counter that has an on-play and when attacking to do... it does what this card does, but hits a 7 or less. I was a little bit, unimpressed by this card when I first saw it. But the fact that this is a common, that is, that's really not bad. When Carrot's an SR with a stronger effect, we can kind of expect that. But this is a common with a still very powerful, relevant effect. And it's a 6-cost 7K body. That's nothing to scoff at either with the 1K counter. Not too bad. The card is kind of growing on. It has grown on me over time. Next up is Kawamatsu. This is a 5-cost, 6,000 power, 2K counter vanilla character with Fishman, Landawano, and Akazaya 9 types. Very nice. Next up is Gyukimaru. Gyukimaru, however you say that. It is a 4-cost, 5,000 power, 1K counter animal Landawano character with the effect of if this character is active, this character cannot be KO'd by your opponent's effects. Okay, so it has some kind of evasion, some kind of protection in that way, not bad. And it has a when attacking, if you have a total of 3 or more given Dawn cards, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a base cost of 6 or less. So every time you attack with this character, if you have a total of 3 or more given Dawn cards, you can rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a base cost of 6 or less. That's really not bad. It's still just, it's kind of like a 4-cost 5K, 1K counter character. It does have slash attributes that will be relevant as we get deeper into the green card pool here. But it's, let me say this. This card's not insane. It's just not bad either. It's a pretty solid card. And when you attack, like, it's probably not going to survive after the first attack most of the times. People will target it. You know, they'll start attacking into it and stuff like that. But once you do attack, being able to rest down a 6 or less, that's pretty good, guys. That is actually very solid. Okay, next up. Next up, we have Kinemon. Oh, very cool looking art here. We got a 6 cost, 8,000 power, 1k counter vanilla card. But this art looks awesome of Kinemon. And of course, this is Land of Wano and Akazaya 9. Excuse me. Okay, next up we have Kuina. This is a 1,000 power, 1k counter character. Love that art too. I have to take a second to appreciate the art. Look at the full moon in the background. Looks awesome. And the face that Kuina is making here, that's just awesome. You know, so wholesome, so wholesome. You love to see it. Okay, so the type is East Blue and Frost Moon Village. Perfect, having the moon in the background. You love to see it. That's awesome. And then the effect is Activate Main. You may rest this character and rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a base cost of 4 or less. Then give up to 3 rested Dawn cards to your Zoro leader. Now, guys, this card is awesome for what we were just talking about with the leader. Again, when I first saw the Zoro leader, I thought, okay, it has a lot of potential, but if it can't develop a board in some way or you know, somehow benefit from, like, using effects and then, like, getting Dawn from the effects and, you know, getting another effect from the effect, well, okay, then it's going to probably struggle. But then we see cards like this one, like Kuina, and another card we'll look at a little bit later. This is what we're talking about. Okay, so now I can develop this character, okay, for 4, rest it down, and then give my leader 3 Dawn cards while resting down my opponent's character with a base cost of 4 or less. That is massive. That allows us to start attacking into their board while still attacking into their face, or attacking into their leader. Now, hear me out. The fact that this card gets rested, a lot of people are going to think, like, oh, that's not very good. Well, it's actually not that bad either, because now your opponent's going to have to attack into this card. Okay, so it's going to potentially eat an attack that would otherwise attack you, you know, attack your leader. So this card has a lot of utility. It's a really solid card. I'm a big fan of this one. This is good stuff here. And if this card does survive, if you put down like a 2-cost blocker or something like that before playing it, oh man. Well, now you're going to start resting. They have to deal with this card or it's just going to be game over. So really good stuff here. I'm a big fan of this kind of interaction with the new leader. Okay. Next up, we have Kushiru. This is a 2-cost, 1,000 power, 1k counter, East Blue, Frost Moon Village type character with the effect of if your slash attribute character with a cost of 5 or less other than this character would be KO'd by your opponent's effect, you may rest this character instead, and it has blocker. Very strong utility blocker here. It's nothing crazy because there are so many different ways to remove characters now that, like, KOing, I think, is probably the... I think out of all the forms of removal in the game right now, the one we see the least is KO now. Because green, purple, like, they're just kind of resting stuff down and getting out, you know, just, you know, resting stuff down and going through it that way. And then blue is just bottom decking stuff. Yellow is lifing stuff. And then black still has access to the majority of KO, I believe. But we're not seeing a whole lot of that. At least not, you know, it really depends on what happens in the format. As green increases in, you know, how do I say this? If green starts becoming more popular, then black will probably become more popular to counter it. Well, cards like Kushiro here, they do help out with that. So really good stuff here. Nice utility blocker. Whoops. Hang on. Did I skip one? No, here we go. Next up is Kazuki Hiyori. This is a 1-cost, 0 power, 1k counter, Land of Wano, Kazuki clan type character. With the effect of Activate Main, you may rest one of your Dawn cards and this character. And if your leader is Zoro, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and reveal up to 1 slash attribute card or a green event and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in the order. Okay. So that's like a new thing we're seeing here, where they're letting us search up like something or a event of a certain color, right? Like in the case of with the case of Rayleigh, we were able to search up, you know, Monkey D. Luffy or a red event, right? So in this case, we can search up a slash attribute card or a green event. So that's pretty cool. I am a big fan of that. Not a whole lot to talk about other than that. This is just a very solid searcher. This is going to be great for Zoro. And remember what I was saying earlier when we were talking about the one card. Let me fall back to it here real quick. Gyukimaru. This is a slash character, okay? A character with a slash attribute. So this Kazuki Hiyori is going to be able to search something like that up, and that's really solid. Okay. All right, so next up we have Shimatsuki Kuzaburo. How do you say that? This is a 3-cost, 2,000 power character with a 2k counter. It is slash searchable, and it has the types are East Blue, Frost Moon Village, Land of Wano, and the effect is on play, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less, then KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters with a base cost of 1 or less. Okay. That's a strange effect there, the on play, how you can rest down a 2 or less, then KO a 1 or less. I think we saw that with our Radio Knife as well, where it's like rest down a 5 and KO a 4. Then there's also, actually that one might be rest a 6 and KO a 5, I can't remember. And then there was also a Edward Newgate from Odyssey that rests a 5 and KOs a 3. Something like that. Interesting the way they're choosing to do green like that. I'm not a huge fan, to be honest, but it's not the worst thing in the world. But the fact that this is a searchable 2k counter for slash searchers, I think that's all it really needs to be. And then on top of that, notice we got young Zoro in the background. Y'all see it back there, guys? Check him out. I think that's young Zoro. Looks really cool. Okay, next up. Dracula Mihawk. All right, here we go. Look at that art. We have an 8-cost, 8,000 power character with Muggy Kingdom and 7 Warlords type. And the effect is blocker, and then on play, set up to 4 of your Dawn cards as active. 4 of your Dawn cards, you're going to set those as active. So this is like a 4 Dawn character, guys. Then you cannot play character cards with a base cost of 7 or more during this turn. Wow. I mean, this card is massive, guys. This card is massive. You're going to play this down as an 8-cost character, and you're going to return 4 of the Dawn back. So on an 8 Dawn turn, you play this out, you still have 4 Dawn to work with. But on a 9 Dawn turn, imagine on a 9 Dawn turn, guys, you can actually play out the Dracula Mihawk and return and stand 4 Dawn back as active, where you still have 5 Dawn, play out a Cavendish, standing up 2 Dawn, and then go from there. So who knows, this might find room in any green deck moving forward. Guys, this might become a green staple right here. This might be a green staple. I'm not going to lie, though. All right. Bear with me, guys. I'm not going to lie. I wish this was a 7-cost 7K. And hear me out. Here's why. It's because I'm a selfish green-blue Zanji player. Imagine, guys. Imagine if this was a 7-cost 7K for green-blue Zoro and Sanji. Oh, that would be so awesome, because then we could stand them up after attacking with them. We could do more things, like, we could do all kinds of cool stuff. Anyway, very good, very strong character here, by the way, guys. I'm not saying it's bad at all. Or maybe if they made it an 8-cost 7K, maybe that's what I needed for it to be, something like that. Anyway, it's a very strong effect on this character, and it's a blocker. You love to see it. Really good stuff here. I would imagine this becoming a green staple, guys, because notice this effect, guys. The effect is blocker. And on play, set up to 4 of your Dawn cards as active. There's no other stipulation. You just can't. Then you cannot play character cards with a base cost of 7 or more during this turn. Okay, that's fine, right? Who cares? I have an 8-cost 8K on the board, and I just stood up 4 Dawn as active. And this is a blocker. So now I get to do whatever I want from here, and it's not leader locked. There's no leader or type blocking in here. This card's incredible. Really big fan of this card, and it will probably be, like I said, for like the 3rd time in a row now, this will probably become like a green staple moving forward. Really good stuff. Okay, next up, wow, check out this alt art, guys. This alt art is incredible. This looks so good. Really big fan of this alt art. Man. Okay, this alt art, I have to say, I usually kind of favor the standard art, right? The base art. Maybe it has to do with the way it's framed or something like that, because you can see the borders and stuff. I don't know. But in this case, guys, this alt art takes the cake for me. 10 out of 10. Like 10 times out of 10. Really, really good stuff here. Okay, next up we have Tashigi. This is a 5-cost, 7,000 power character with slash, no counter. The type is East Blue and Navy, and listen to this effect. On play, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a base cost of 6 or less. That's not even the best part, in my opinion. Then give up to 3 rested Dawn cards to your Zoro leader. Guys, this card is outrageously good for Zoro. Remember what I was saying. If Zoro sees enough support where we can develop a character while getting Dawn back to play on our leader, yeah, then we're going to be in business. Well, guys, Tashigi, this Dracula Mihawk, the 4-cost Kuina we saw, like, these cards are excellent. Excellent for Zoro. They're going to be so good. Resting down characters so you can attack into them with your leader, and then you get to stand your leader and attack into their leader. I actually like it, and I think it's pretty balanced. At least to some extent, I think there's a lot of balance in this, because it does give your opponent the ability to interact and save his board. It's not just pure removal, and this is what I was saying from the very beginning when I was talking, I mean, like a long time ago on this channel. I was talking about how I think green shouldn't really have access to too much removal. I don't think that's going to be very balanced. Instead, I think it should have access to resting down characters so that you can attack into them. And I understand that's not hard removal like a lot of people want, but you do have to have, you know, things that are appropriate for your color, you know, or else every color ends up being the same. There's no, you know, there is no, like, none of them are unique. There's not enough identity to them. You know, they don't have their own identity. Butchering that. Y'all know what I mean. All right, moving on, guys. This Tashigi seems absolutely incredible. Next up, we have an alt art for the Tashigi. Oh, man. That watercolor style, incredible. Incredible. Wow. Like, this one was very good. I actually like how you had that, like notice, like, the light reflecting off the sword or some type of power. Whatever's going on there, it looks really good. And there's like, it's like a water attack coming at Tashigi here. It looks like this was a really good piece of art already. Then we see this one. Wow, that's nice. That is something, guys. Those eyes are so intense, too. I love that. And notice this, guys. She's doing one of these. She's like, yep. Don't need the glasses on for this. Yeah, we're going to have to push the glasses up. Woo, this one's good, guys. This one's really, really good. Okay, anyway, gotta keep moving, gotta keep going. Nekomamushi, we got a 6-cost, 7,000 power, 2K counter vanilla. Minx, Lanawano, and Akazaya 9. Very nice. Then we have Helmeppo. Helmeppo was a 4-cost, 5,000 power, East Blue, Navy blocker, no counter, but it has on block, rests up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. Okay, that's actually very interesting. This art is hilarious, by the way. The art is absolutely hilarious. But this effect is very interesting, because imagine they try to attack into you for 5. I'm just going to poke into you. That's something I really like to do, by the way. Whenever I'm playing, I usually like to attack in and just kind of poke in to see what they want to do. Well, if I attack in for 5, they can use Helmeppo here as the blocker, use the on-block effect to rest down one of my cost 5 or lower characters, and then 1K counter out to save their Helmeppo, and then they can use that next turn. So this is actually a very annoying card to deal with. Very solid, though. I don't think it's like game-breaking. I don't know what deck this is going to be played in, if it makes its way into any list, but it is a slash searchable character, and I think it's very solid. All right, next up we have Perona. This is a 1-cost, 2,000 power, 1K counter character with Muggy Kingdom and Thriller Bark Pirates type. The effect is on play if your leader has the slash attribute. Look at 5 cards from the top of your deck. Reveal up to 1 slash attribute card or green event and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So again, we're seeing that same idea here where it's like, you know, you get to search up a certain type of card or a event that is the same color as the searcher. We saw that with Perona now. We saw it with Hiyori. Then even in red, we saw it with Boa and with Shakuyaku. So really cool stuff there. I am a big fan of that direction they're taking the searchers. I do think that's pretty solid, because it's unfortunate when you have to build a deck, and what ends up happening is you have all these different types, and you can't always search up what you need to, you know. So it is good that they're kind of opening that up. It's like, okay, just any slash attribute character in this case, and then any green event, and you're going to be good. And I do like sometimes when it is type restricted as well for the searchers. I do think that's still a good thing to have. But in this situation where we're dealing with slash attribute characters, it's nice to be able to search those up while still having access to all the events we might need to have for defensive purposes, you know, or even offensive purposes. So good stuff here. Okay. Oh, okay, very nice. The art looks really good on this alt art Perona, and I like both styles. This is more of like a 2D, like a 2-dimensional style piece of art here, while this one's more 3D. They're both very much anime, but this one's kind of more like notice how the colors are treated. Like the colors on this, because of the 2D style it has, they're just straight colors. There's no shading at all, right? And that's not a bad thing. Whereas in this other one here, there's a lot of shading going on, because in the 3D stuff, you have to give this this illusion of depth and, like, you know, the character being 3-dimensional. So really good stuff here. This looks awesome. Love the colors on this too. The colors on this one look really good. Okay, next up we have Morgan. This is just a 3-cost, 5,000 power, 1K counter character, vanilla East Blue Navy character. Next up is Zoro, 4 cost, 5,000 power, 1k counter character with Supernova and Straw Hat Crew typing, with the effect of this card in your hand cannot be played by effects. Okay, so if you were thinking about cheating this out with Mihawk, the 3 cost 2k from ST12 or whatever it was, I don't think so. Not happening. This card in your hand cannot be played by effects. And then it has, if your leader has the slash attribute, this character cannot be KO'd in battle by slash attribute cards and gains plus 1,000 power. So if your leader is a slash attribute, this is basically a 4 cost 6k, and it has the 1k counter. Seems good. It also cannot be, this character cannot be KO'd in battle by slash attribute cards. So really good stuff here. Okay. All right, next up, guys, moving over to the green events, we have Demon Aura, 9 sword style, Asura Blades drawn, Dead Man's Game. Very cool name. Let's see what it does. We have a 1 cost Straw Hat Crew event. With the effect of main, you may rest 3 of your Dawn cards and rest up to a total of 2 of your opponent's characters or Dawn cards. Okay, little Hody Jones effect here, right? And it has a counter. Your leader gains plus 3,000 power during this battle. So this is one of those 1 cost 3k counter utility events for the leader, and this one has the Hody Jones effect built in for 4. And guys, this card, I'm going to start calling it Dead Man's Game, because that's just, I mean, that name is ridiculous. The name is really cool, but just for the sake of being able to talk about this card a little bit easier in conversations, I'm going to start calling this card Dead Man's Game, and this is awesome. This is a really, really powerful event, and this is not locked in any way, shape, or form, guys. It has just, your leader gets plus 3 for the battle for the counter for, for paying 1, or you can pay 4 and rest up to a total of 2 of your opponent's characters or Dawn cards. This card and the new Mihawk, I could imagine seeing those in most green decks going forward. Very, very strong, staple level green cards here, guys. Really good stuff. Oh, man. That is ridiculous, guys. That looks so good. What? I'm looking over at my other screen here, and it looks like it's cut off in a weird way. But look, it's just because the name of this card is so big. It's forced the card like down to the corner. But either way, this looks so good, guys. Check this out. This alt art. I love how they do these new event alt art manga style cards. These are just incredible. They look so incredible. They look so good. Big fan of this. Okay, back to the normal. Again, guys, look at how ridiculous. The name is so big on this card that it pushed it out of my field of view that the normal cards fit in from my overlay or whatever. Crazy. All right, so next up here we have 2 sword style Rashomon. This is a 1 cost green Straw Hat Crew event. It's another one of those 1 cost 3k counter utility leader events here, and it has the main effect is, you may rest 2 of your Dawn cards and KO up to 2 of your opponent's rested characters with a base cost of 4 or less. This is just a really solid all-around card, in my opinion. I'm a big fan of this. I'm not going to lie. This is just a really good card for green. But here's the thing. We're starting to get so many of these incredibly powerful events. How are we going to find room for all of them, right? Because you have Electrical Luna in green. You have the card we just looked at, the Dead Man's Game. We have there's also Gum Gum Elephant Gatling or Elephant Gun or something like that came out in OP-10. Or actually, was it OP-11? I think it might have been OP-11. Either way, there are so many really powerful events in the game now. It's becoming very hard to squeeze them all in, to see which one we want to keep and which ones we have to cut. So that's going to become a very tough decision moving forward. But I have to say, guys, it is going to be hard to beat this one right here. This is I would consider this staple in pretty much any green deck you're trying to run moving forward, because even if you're not trying to go for lethal, it doesn't matter. You're just going to be able to tap down their board for 4 Dawn. You can just rest down their board, and then you can start smashing into it with your leader, right? It's, I don't know, very, very strong card. But this is very good as well, because once they get characters rested, you can rest 3 Dawn and KO up to 2 cost 4 lower characters. Now, I will say this. A card like 2 sword style Rashomon in something like maybe green-black, like maybe green-black Isho or something like that, or green-black Perona, well, okay, now we're talking maybe that can really mess up your opponent. Just rest down their whole board and start popping their characters. Could be really good. This could also be pretty decent in something like Mink's Carrot. Resting down, I know it rests down a 5 or less, but resting down like a 4, some 4 or less cards is not that hard in that deck. Pay 3 to KO them. This could be a pretty good card in Carrot. All right, next up we have Luffy is the man who will become the King of Pirates. This is a 3 cost event for Straw Hat Crew. The effect is main. Set your Zoro leader as active. and then trigger up to one of your leader or character cards gains plus 1,000 power during this turn. So the trigger is just whatever. That's just a solid utility trigger, whatever. But the event here, the effect, is very solid. Setting your leader as active, that's going to be really strong. You're going to be able to attack into more stuff on the board or go for lethal. There's a lot of different things you're going to be able to do here. This is a very, very good event. In fact, there was a card named I'm Invincible for Green Uda, for Green Film Uda. And I'm Invincible, the card, it was basically the same thing, but for Uda, where you could pay 3 and stay in your leader as active. That was like one of the scariest parts about that deck. Well, now we're giving that effect to Zoro as well, that event to Zoro. Really good stuff here. But again, it's going to come down to how many of these are we going to be able to run, because there are so many good green events that they have access. There's so many good events that green has access to. Okay, let's keep going. All right, next up we have Kuzan. We're getting into the blue cards now. This is a 5,000 power, 5 life, mono blue Navy leader, with the effect of when a card is trashed from your hand by your Navy type card's effect, draw cards equal to the number of cards trashed. Now, there are 2 things I want you to really think about, with that effect right there. Number 1, it is not once per turn. And number 2, it is not your turn only. Okay, that's very, very relevant. Really good stuff there. Keep that in mind as we're going through all the cards for blue that are coming out in OP-12. But guys, I am a big fan of I'm a big fan of that effect. And I think that was something, I'm not going to talk about it for too long, but I actually think that they should have given some type of effect like that to mono black Sakazuki. Not blue black Sakazuki, ST06 mono black Absolute Justice Sakazuki. If they had made that leader have some type of effect like this, then I think it would have been a pretty playable leader. But anyway, yeah, that's neither here nor there. All right, moving forward, let's go ahead and check these cards out. Okay. All right, so here's the alt art for Kuzan. Got Garp in the background, and then we have Kuzan in the foreground, just covered in ice, because that's his thing, right? Looks really cool. All right, next up we got Sanji. Okay, we have another leader that shares the color blue in OP-12, and that's Sanji. He is a 4-life, 5,000 power blue-purple leader with the type Vinsmoke family and Straw Hat crew. And then we have 2 effects here. Activate main once per turn, Dawn -1. Activate up to 1 Straw Hat crew type event with a base cost of 3 or less from your hand. And then when attacking, if the number of Dawn cards in your field is equal to or less, that's important that it's equal to or less than the number on your opponent's field, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and rest it. So what that's going to allow you to do, so remember, in the game of One Piece, the way the Dawn goes, unless there's Dawn ramp, that's different. But in a typical game, a standard game of One Piece, it's like, okay, player 1, they have 1 Dawn, player 2 goes to 2 Dawn, and then it goes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up, right? So let's just say you're on like a 5 Dawn turn and your opponent's on a 4 Dawn turn, right? Like they just had their 4 Dawn turn, so you're going into your 5 Dawn turn. Okay, well, you're going to be able to play out a 5-cost character for the turn, do whatever, and then you can Dawn -1 to play out a Straw Hat Crew event for free, right? That costs 3 or less. You could play that out for free, and then you could attack with your leader for the turn, and you have equal to or less Dawn than your opponent. You're both at 4 now, and you can go back up to 5. So I'm actually a big fan of how this leader was designed. I think it was designed very well, very interesting. We'll have to see what kind of support this leader gets that can really push it to the next level. And one more thing I want to mention, too, before we move on, is I'm a big fan of the art for this, man. That, it's like the red, black, and white. There's something about that for me. That's a really nice combo, having that red jacket on with the black undershirt and the white tie. He's got the black gloves on as well. Man, Sanji looks awesome in this picture right here, guys. Sanji looks incredible. Okay, the alt art for this one, we got Zeph in the background. And, of course, that's the thing, right? We had Garp in the background. I have to keep mentioning this, I know. But this is the whole Legacy of the Master vibe here. Kuzan is Garp's pupil. And the same idea with Zeph, when for Sanji with Zeph, that it's the whole student and teacher type thing. Really cool. All right, so next up we have Alvida. This is a 4-cost, 5,000 power, 1k counter, cross-guild type character. With the effect, if you have 2 or more characters with a base cost of 5 or more, this character gains +1 cost. And then on play, place up to one of your opponent's characters with a base cost of 1 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. So the on-play is kind of just whatever. It's not really anything too special, but the effect there, that main effect of if you have 2 or more characters with a base cost of 5 or more, this character gains +1 cost, that's pretty solid, right? So, that's going to allow you to be able to potentially attack in with this character if you have the 7-cost buggy on the board that shuts down all 3-cost and 4-cost attacks. So that's pretty good. And this will also help build up towards your count for getting down as many, characters as you can to get down the 10 cost Buggy as soon as possible without having to lose him from his own effect. So this is just a solid card, but I will say this. I think we have better options now from the starter deck that I don't know if this card will make it into the Buggy deck, unfortunately. Okay, good stuff though other than that. Okay, next up we have Kuzan. We have a 6-cost, 8,000 power character here with the Navy type, and the effect is if you have 5 or more cards in your hand, this character gains +1 cost. Okay, nice little bonus effect there. But then the main effect here, the on play, is you may trash 1 card from your hand, and then up to 1 of your opponent's characters cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next end phase. Well, guys, that there is pretty strong, right? That's pretty massive, because you're going to, remember what the leader does. We're going to trash a card from our hand, and it's a Navy effect. So that's going to let us draw a card as well. So we're going to trash and draw. So this is basically a trash 1, draw 1 cycle in Kuzan. And then up to 1 of your opponent's characters can't attack for the turn. For their next turn. So this is a really good card. It's a 6-cost, 8,000 power character. This card is massive, guys. This character is massive. Really big fan of this card. Locking down attacks too. That's nothing, guys. That's nothing to scoff at there. That is serious. That is a very solid effect. And they had to give him an incredible alt art, guys. Look at this. Okay, another Akira Igawa masterpiece. Another Akira Igawa masterpiece, guys. Really beautiful art here. You can typically tell with Akira Igawa's work, they like to do this red outlining. Look at the red outlining going on their pieces here. Typically you'll see outlines done in something like a black, right? That's pretty standard. But they love using colors for their outlines, and it does add a very special effect to it, a flavor to it. It adds its own, its own style to it. Really cool stuff. And this art is incredible. Looks beautiful. Love all the blues. Okay. Next up we have Sakazuki. Okay. All right. Sakazuki here. 7-cost, 8,000 power character. Navy type, of course. With the effect on play, if your leader has the Navy type, draw 2 cards. I don't even have to read any further after that. This is a 7-cost 8K that draws 2 cards. Not bad. But then it also has activate main once per turn. You may trash 1 card from your hand and give up to 1 rested Dawn card to your leader or 1 of your characters. So again, this is a Navy type effect, right? This is a Navy type of effect that causes us to trash a card. So we're going to draw a card directly after that. Very, very powerful card here, guys. This is practically a draw 2, trash 1, draw 1. That's what this card is. So it's like a draw 3, trash 1. At the end of the day, not literally, because you do have to draw 2 first, then trash 1, and then draw 1 after using the activate main. So it's a very, very good effect though. This character is incredible. I'm a huge fan of this. This card. This is the kind of card that I really like to see. Being able to play out a 7-cost 8K, refilling my hand, fixing things on the board by moving Dawn around, and just going about things like that. Huge, huge fan of this card. Really good stuff here. Okay, then we have Django, a 6-cost, 8,000 power character with a 1K counter. Vanilla, very nice. That does make sense, by the way. Keep that 8,000 number in mind. That will make sense as we get later into these reveals, into these cards. So next up is Zephyr in the Navy here. Okay, 5-cost, 5,000 power, 2K counter. Really cool looking card here. Look at that, man. He's like, try me. He's got the fist raised. He's like, just try me, bud. Just give me just one reason. Just give me one reason. No, this is Zephyr in the Navy here. Film Navy type with the effect of on play, trash 2 cards from your hand. Man, this card's terrible, right? Nope, not really, because you're going to trash 2, and since this is a Navy effect, you're going to be able to draw 2 as well. Okay, so this is a trash 2, draw 2. A 5-cost 5K with a 2K counter that has a trash 2, draw 2, and activate main. You may trash this character, return up to 1 character with a cost of 5 or less to the owner's hand. Yeah, seems really, really good, guys. Being able to, you're going to trash this character to bounce a 5 or less to the owner's hand after doing a trash 2, draw 2. Yeah, seems good to me. And it's a searchable 2K counter for Navy. Really good stuff here. Next up is Sengoku. Okay, 3-cost, 3,000 power, 1K counter, Navy character. With the effect on play, you may trash 1 card from your hand. Okay, you're trashing a card from your hand with a Navy effect, right? Look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and reveal up to 2 Navy-type cards other than Sengoku and add them to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So you guys know what that means, right? It means trash one card from your hand, do a top 5 search, and grab the 2 Navy cards you want out of there, and putting the 3 on the bottom of your deck in any order, the 3 leftovers at the bottom of your deck in any order, and then draw a card from your leader's effect. Did you guys catch that? You're trashing a card from your hand to do this. So again, pay 3 to trash a card and do a top 5 search, drawing 2 of those cards, putting the other 3 on the bottom, and then drawing a card from your leader effect afterwards. So here we go. This is another version, like with Sakazuki, where you're basically just trashing a card to draw 3. Incredible searcher power in this deck, guys. Incredible ways to fill up your hand. Really big fan of this card. Okay, next up is Don Quixote Rocinante. Okay, we have 1 cost, 1,000 power, 1k counter, Navy type character with the effect of on your opponent's turn, if your blue Navy type character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you may rest this character and trash 1 card from your hand instead. Now, notice that's not a once per turn, but you do have to rest this character to do the effect. So it kind of is a once per turn, right? You do have to rest this character and trash a card from your hand instead to save your character. So again, on your opponent's turn, if your blue Navy type character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you may rest this character and trash a card from your hand instead. So this is a very, very solid effect here, and you're trashing a card from a Navy effect, okay? Drawing you a card. Really good stuff here. Great way to protect your board as well. Huge fan of this card. Really good protection here for Blue Navy. Next up is Buggy. This is a 6 cost, 7,000 power, 2k counter character with 4 Emperors and Cross Guild type. Really solid. This is a really solid 2k counter vanilla character here. Okay. All right. Next up, we have Jaguar D. Saul. Look at this guy, man. Look at Popeye over here, bro. Look at those forearms. All right. So we got a 6 cost, 7,000 power character here with a 1k counter, and the effect and the type is Giant, O'Hara, and Navy, and the effect is Blocker. Okay. One thing I have noticed, I have skimmed through a lot of these spoilers, these reveals, and I think that's going to be a new stat line they're going for in the game. Is 6 cost, 7,000 power, 1k counter blocker. That's going to become like the 6 cost vanilla blocker in the game, I think, is the 6 cost, 7k, 1k counter blocker. And I think that is to prepare more for these like baseline 6,000 power leaders in the game. You know, like red, purple Luffy, blue, purple Luffy, and even leaders that get to 6,000 easily, like green, purple Luffy, that gets to 6,000 power so easily. And we're also starting to see a lot of effects that buff leaders up to 7,000 power, like the new Shanks from the starter decks, the purple Luffy from the starter decks, the green Beppo, Law and Beppo from starter decks. That's starting to buff leaders to 7,000 power. Okay, well, how do we compete with that as 5,000 power leaders? And I think their answer is, okay, we're going to print more of these 7,000 power blockers, these like vanilla 7,000 power blockers. And I do like that. I think that's a decent way of answering that for the time being. But we'll see how things pan out. But either way, solid 6 cost 7k blocker. This is really nice. I really like this art here too. It looks almost like colored pencils. Looks really good. I love that texturing. Okay. Next up, we have Hina. This is a 3 cost, 3,000 power, 2k counter character with Navy type, and the effect is activate main. You may rest this character and trash 1 card from your hand. So activate main, rest this character, trash a card from your hand. It's a Navy effect. Up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a base cost of 4 or less cannot activate blocker during this turn. So you're shutting down blocker, you're cycling a card, but you are resting this card down, and if you played this card, you lost a 2k counter from your hand. I don't think the effect is going to be that great, but I guess it could help you potentially, you know, attack through for lethal later in some games if they have a 4 cost or lower blocker on the board. So that's pretty good. It does have some utility like that, but I could see this just kind of being like a 2 of in a Navy deck, especially with all of this blue searcher power now and the blue Navy stuff. A lot of searcher power going on, and not even searcher power. I mean, yeah, we will have access to I think it's Tashigi, right? The 1 cost blue searcher for Navy. But here's the thing. There's so much card draw in these decks. Like, I think it's going to be very, very strong. So I think only running maybe 2 of these Hinas will be worth it because it is still a 2k counter and it has some utility built in, which is nice. Okay. Next up, we have Full Body. This is a 4 cost, 6k, 1k counter vanilla Navy character. Very nice. Okay, next up we have Borsalino, a 4 cost, 5,000 power, 1k counter Navy character. And the effect is, once per turn, if this character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you may trash 1 card from your hand instead. Okay? So it can protect itself in that way. if this character would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect. Not KO, not bounce, anything. Bounce to life, you know, removal of any kind. Trashing, KOing, bouncing, you name it. You can just trash a card instead. And then on your opponent's turn, if your leader has the Navy type, this character gains blocker and plus 1,000 power. Guys, this blocker is incredible. I'm a huge fan of this. It has a way to protect itself. And by the way, trashing a card from your hand as a Navy effect, yeah, that's going to draw you a card as well. Seems pretty good. And then on your opponent's turn, this is a 6k blocker. Really good stuff here. I'm a really big fan of this card. Okay. Next up is Marshal D. Teach. This is a 1-cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter, 7 Warlords, Blackbeard Pirates type character. With the effect on play, if your leader has the 7 Warlords of the Sea type, return up to 1 character with a cost of 1 or less other than this character to the owner's hand. Okay, so I'm not a huge fan of this one. This is probably just for searching. This is probably for Blue Doflamingo, and it's just probably meant to bounce back your searchers like Perona, Buggy, things like that. It's probably meant to bounce back some of those utility cards back to your own hand, because you can return up to 1 character with a cost of 1 or less to the other than this character, excuse me, to the owner's hand. So you can bounce your own 1-cost characters back to your hand if you need to. So good stuff there. Just a solid utility card. Not too much to talk about here. Next up is Moji and Kabaji. This is a nice, okay, here we go. A 5-cost, 6,000 power, 2k counter character for Cross Guild Vanilla. Vanilla 2k counter, and it's a 5-cost card, which is extremely important for Cross Guild. Good stuff here. Okay, here we go. Next up, we got Monkey D. Garp. We have an 8-cost, 8,000 power character with a Navy type, of course, and the effect is on play. You may trash 1 card from your hand and play up to 1 blue Navy type character card with 8,000 power or less other than Garp from your hand. So guys, remember what I was saying about 8,000 power. It's actually very, very important in this deck. Here's why. With Monkey D. Garp, we trash a card from our hand, and we can play out a blue Navy type character card with 8,000 power or less from our hand. Okay, other than Garp. So, and then we get to draw a card with our leader's effect, right? So here we go. So look at some of the cards we'll be able to cheat down. Okay, yeah, we can cheat down Borsalino or Full Body, but look at the other options we have. Something like Jaguar D. Saul. It has to be an 8,000 power or lower blue Navy character not named Garp. So we can even cheat out something like Django, 6-cost 8k vanilla. Sakazuki, 7-cost 8k with a draw effect. Kuzan, 6-cost 8k, trash card, draw card, leader effect, and then lock down an attack. And I think, and that's it. But then again, guys, remember, when a card is trashed from your hand by your Navy type card effects, you're drawing a card. Very, very powerful stuff there. So with this new 8-cost, Garp, guys, this is going to be a really important piece to making Kuzan work. You're cycling cards through your hand, and you're also cheating out massive characters. Really good stuff here. I cannot wait to mess around with this card. And it does say you may trash 1 card from your hand and play up to 1 blue Navy type character card with 8,000 power less other than Garp from your hand. Notice that's not a leader locked effect. It is a type lock effect where you can only cheat out Navy type characters, but hey, we'll take it, right? That doesn't seem too bad. Really good stuff here. All right, very nice. And now we have the alt art here. Looks really good. Look at Garp, man. He's about to punch us right in the face. Watch out! Look out! He's about to punch us right in the face. That just looks awesome. Okay, next up we have Ice Block Pheasant Peck. This is a 1-cost Navy event that has the effect counter up to 1 of your leader or character cards gains plus 4,000 power during this battle, then trash 1 card from your hand. Okay, so again, I know I sound like a broken record. Trashing a card from your hand with a Navy effect? Yep, I think we're going to go ahead and draw a card from that. Seems good. And then trigger, you may trash 1 card from your hand to draw a card. So guys, that trigger, very, very solid in here because it's basically a trash 1 draw 2. Okay, good stuff there. Not too much to talk about though, other than the art. The art looks incredible. You got Ace squaring off against, I think that's Ace if I can see it properly, squaring off against Kuzan. All right, next up we have I Will Make Whitebeard the King of the Pirates. Okay, this is a 9-cost blue event here, Whitebeard Pirates type. The effect is main. If your leader's type includes Whitebeard Pirates, reveal 1 card from the top of your deck, and if that card is a character card with a type including Whitebeard Pirates and a cost of 9 or less, you may play that card, and if you do, that character gains rush during this turn. Trigger, draw a card. I'm not a big fan of these 9-cost events just yet. I don't think they do enough. Maybe this will be the one that changes my mind. Like, all these, I shouldn't say these 9-cost events. I'm saying these really big events. Like, the biggest cost event that I want to run is like 7-cost Gravity Blade, and that deals with 2 targets on the board typically. But the effects, like there was like an 8-cost event as well that came out in I think it's an ST22, the blue Whitebeard and Ace starter deck. But here's the thing, like I think that one is an 8-cost. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. Maybe it's another. Maybe it was an OP-11. I can't remember. And now here's this one in OP-12 for a 9-cost event. I'm just not a huge fan of that unless it has some massive impact on the board. Like literally, like clear the board and then play a character from your hand. Something along those lines I would like. But as is, I'm just not a huge fan of this. I understand, like in Red Blue Marco, you're going to be able to use this as like a 9-cost Sanji effect. I get it, and you're going to be able to give like say you put let's just pretend we're on a 10 Dawn turn, right? Say we're on a 10 Dawn turn, we're playing Red Blue Marco, we attach a Dawn to our leader, we set the card to the top of our deck that we need, we play this card out, and it says here, you know, if your leader type includes Whitebeard Pirates, reveal 1 card from the top of your deck. Okay, well we set it there, right? And if that card is a character card with a type including Whitebeard Pirates and a cost of 9 or less, you may play that card, and if you do, that character gains Rush during this turn. So imagine what we can do there with Red Blue Marco on a 10 Dawn turn. We put the 9-cost red OP-01, like what was it? Or excuse me, OP-02. I think it was OP-02. Whitebeard, we put that into the top of our deck, and now we play this event, and it plays out that 9-cost, I think it's a 9-cost 10k on play, give your leader plus 2,000 for the battle, right, or excuse me, for the turn, until the start of your next turn or whatever it is. You get to swing in for 8 with your leader, because remember you attached a Dawn to it, so it went from 5 to 6 to 8, and then you get to swing in for 10. So swing 8, swing 10, and now you have a 7,000 power leader. Like, that does seem very good in theory, but remember, this is just a dead card in your hand for the entire game until you hit that point, and on top of that, so is the 9-cost Whitebeard, right? So you have to have 2 dead cards in your hand until you can wombo combo them on this turn. I'm not saying it won't work, but I'm just saying it seems a little gimmicky. That's all I'm going to say. Either way, it's a decent event here. I think it has potential, but we'll have to see how people can figure it out. Next up, we have Concaster. This is a 1-cost blue Sky Island Straw Hat Crew event. With main, if your leader is Sanji, draw 1 card. And then counter, if you have 4 or more events in your trash, up to one of your leaders gains plus 4,000 power during this battle. So this is like a 1-cost 4K utility event for the leader. That it's like specific to Sanji, where you can draw a card if your leader is Sanji with that main. This is a really, really good card in Blue-Purple Sanji, I think. Because think of it like this, guys. For 1 Dawn, we get to draw a card and cycle through our deck and fill up our trash. We'll fill up our trash. And then, with that 1 Dawn we used that we wasted for the turn to do this draw card cycle, well, now we just Dawn -1 that card, or that Dawn that we used. And then we get to play out a 3-cost or lower event now. Straw Hat Crew event. Then we attack it with our leader and get the Dawn right back. And then later in the game, counter if you have 4 more events in your trash, up to one of your leaders gains plus 4,000 power during this battle. So this card is excellent for what we're trying to do, or for what I think you're going to be trying to do with Blue-Purple Sanji. Really good stuff here. Okay, next up we have Boeuf Burst. This is a 3-cost Straw Hat Crew blue event with the effect of main. If your leader is multicolored, choose one. Return up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less to the owner's hand. And if you have 6 or less cards in your hand, draw 2 cards. Or if you have 6 or less cards in your hand, draw 2 cards. You have to choose one, right? So again, main, if your leader's multicolored, choose one of those. You can either bounce a 4 or less to the owner's hand, or if you have 6 or less cards, you can draw 2 cards. So remember what we were just talking about. Like in Blue-Purple Sanji, you can literally, I mean, think of it, guys. Like, you can literally go turn 1, or I don't know about if we want to do this on turn 1. No, I think we'd want to do this on turn 2, right? Because on turn 2, we can actually get the Dawn back by attacking. So imagine it's like turn 2 or turn 3, it depends. And we just go, okay, pay 1 for Concaster. Excuse me. Pay 1 for Concaster, and then afterwards, we're going to Dawn -1 and Boeuf Burst to draw 2 cards, or bounce a 4 or less to the owner's hand. This is a really nice wombo combo here, and it's searching deeper into the deck too. It's like it's drawing you through cards and getting you deeper into the deck. So this is a really nice combo here already. I'm a huge fan of Boeuf Burst here, because you can draw 2 if you have 6 or less cards in hand, or bounce a 4 or less, and that's for Dawn -1 in this deck. That's not for 3. Like, do not even, you might as well pretend that this 3 at the top here just says 0, because it's just Dawn -1. And then you attack him with your leader afterwards. You need to make sure you get sequencing correctly with Sanji. Make sure you use your leader attack when attacking afterwards, after using the Dawn -1 for the activate main effect, so that way you can get your Dawn right back to where it needs to be. Really, really good stuff here. Okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. All right. All right. Check that out, guys. This will go. So that makes sense. So remember, for green, we saw Zoro had, I think it was the Dead Man's game for their 1-cost event. and it was like made up in this style. So that's Zoro, and now we have Boeuf Burst for Sanji. So we got, you know, Luffy's two main guys there with these awesome anime panel, you know, manga panel style alt-art events. This is really cool. Okay, now this is going to be for next time, okay? We got to save this one for the next time. Really good stuff so far. OP-12 looks incredible, guys. I am going to get the outro page on because, like I said, we'll go over those in the next video. OP-12 looks absolutely incredible. Tell me what y'all think. This is just part 1. Don't worry, guys. Tomorrow will be part 2. Tell me what you guys think so far about these new cards from OP-12. I am so excited. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to play these new cards, guys. I can't wait. We'll get there eventually, though. We'll get there eventually. Patience, patience, patience. But yeah, really good stuff. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you to everybody who supports the channel, guys, whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, using my TCG player affiliate link. If you're supporting me through donations on Patreon or PayPal, a Playmat supporter, a YouTube member, a Discord community, however you're helping me out and helping out the community, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. All right, I'm done. Hope you guys enjoyed. Till next time, peace.